Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. In this video, we're going to talk about the esoteric and occult meaning behind Halloween. Remember that when we are talking about esoteric meanings, we are talking about the allegories and how this relates to you and your consciousness. I will start by describing Halloween and just a little bit about the exoteric parts before diving into what it all represents. We're going to talk about the true meanings of the sun in this time of the year, the zodiac, and the sign of Scorpio, and how this relates to Halloween and how all of this relates to you. I will also go into how you can use this time of year, embrace it, and make changes. Now let's just jump right into the history. Halloween started as an occult holiday which was called Samhain, also called Hallow Mass. This was celebrated as a turning point in the year because it marks the end of the harvest and the beginning of what will turn into the winter. I think this has a lot to do with all of the corn and pumpkin imagery that we see at this time of year. It's reported that the ancients believed that the veil between the living and the dead is at its weakest point on November 1st. This is because Halloween marks the point at the end of the harvest and the beginning of the point where the leaves start to fall off the trees and the crops are dying. This occult holiday represents death, change, transition, ultimately leading into rebirth. We will talk a little bit more about this in a moment. In Christianity, November 1st is called All Saints' Day, and this is the day that the souls and spirits pass between worlds and walk this earth. This is a holiday completely centered around death, and the dead and the return of the dead. This is a very important and esoteric allegory in occultism. Because of the veil being at its thinnest, this was always a great time for our ancestors to perform magic rituals. This is because they believed it would be much easier to feel the energy and communication with the spirits. Also, it has become a tradition to dress up on Halloween, and part of the lore behind this was that it was intended to confuse the walking dead, and it was meant to scare the ghosts. So let's get into the symbolism of this holiday and what this time of year represents. And to do this, I'm going to have to talk a little bit about the sun. When we talk about the esoteric underpinnings of religion, symbolism, holidays, the zodiac, and countless other things that seem to govern people's lives, what we're actually talking about is how these things represent you. The big secret to life is the fact that God, or Source, is you. All there is consciousness, awareness. And this consciousness or awareness manifested the physical reality and lives as it. Everything that you find, whether it's a rock, a tree, or even a man-made object, all of it contains divinity. I'm explaining this so that way you can soak up this next concept. The sun in the sky represents consciousness. The sun gives life to the earth, just as your consciousness gives life to your body. This is the truth about why all the ancient religions and current ones are so obsessed with sun worship. They are more focused on the exoteric aspects of this though, which is why they talk about Jesus, the Son of God. Whereas when we talk about the esoteric side of this, we understand that this is about consciousness. Everything that is outside of us, all of these stories are just allegories about us and how our soul works. When you embody the true teachings of these ancient religions, you obtain this higher state of consciousness. The sun can represent this more enlightened or illuminated state of consciousness. When we are talking about the dead, we are talking about people who do not embody a higher state of consciousness. They are referred to as the walking dead. They are zombies. This is not a nice term to the occult. The point of esotericism or the occult world is to raise people out of this deadened state. When the light of the sun truly dawns on you, then you are gaining new knowledge, understanding, wisdom, and ultimately personal power. On Halloween being the day of the walking dead, People are walking around wearing masks and scaring each other, scaring the walking dead. Now, being that the sun represents consciousness, let's talk about how this relates to the occult holiday of Halloween. To do this, we must talk about the sun going through the processes of the year and embodying the zodiac. So the sun becomes each sign of the zodiac as it passes through them throughout the year. The first sign of the zodiac begins on the first day of spring at the spring equinox, and this first sign is Aries. The sun is born, and then it passes through Taurus, the bull. The bull is gaining momentum as spring is flourishing and leaves come in. The plants are growing very fast. The sun passes through Gemini and reaches the summer solstice, which is at its highest point in the northern hemisphere. And the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. The sun passes through Cancer and then Leo. Leo is the lion, the middle of the summer. It's very hot outside, and the sun has become a roaring lion. The sun passes through Virgo, the virgin, as it is beginning its descent into the southern hemisphere on the autumn equinox. After September 21st, the sun crosses into the southern hemisphere and also into Libra. It gets cooler. We are continuing our harvest and everything slows down. When the sun crosses into Scorpio, this is the middle of autumn and the leaves are falling. The sun is in the southern hemisphere as we have our last harvest, and our plants, our resources here begin to die. The sun crosses into Sagittarius, and we are in the darkness. The sun reaches its lowest point in the southern hemisphere on December 21st as we have our longest night. This is the winter solstice. The sun passes into Capricorn as it begins its ascent back up to the northern hemisphere. The sun passes into Aquarius, the middle of winter, and then through Pisces, the end of winter. On March 21st, the sun crosses the equator back into the northern hemisphere. The sun is reborn and spring begins. I ran through this whole story really fast to just show you something. And that is that each season we have these special occult holidays. If you watch my channel, you probably already know that I talk a lot about the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. This symbolism is absolutely everywhere because it's very important. These signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Each fixed sign is in the middle of the season. They embody the fullness of that season. Taurus is the sun gaining powerful momentum in spring, growing life very fast and efficiently. Leo is the sun blazing very powerfully in the summer. Scorpio is the sun dying, descending and transforming in the autumn. And Aquarius is the sun rising and becoming in the winter. In the middle of each of these fixed signs, we have these special occult holidays that marks the middle of the season in the middle of that sign. In the middle of Taurus, we have May 1st, Beltane, or May Day. Leo is August 1st, Lammas. The middle of Scorpio is November 1st, Samhain, Hallowmas. In the middle of Aquarius is February 1st, called Imbolc. And we also have the Super Bowl around this time or in the following week. We have these occult holidays to signify the power of the sun around those times. Now let's talk about Scorpio. The sun crossed into the southern hemisphere on September 21st. Daylight has been becoming less and less ever since. The nights are becoming longer. The sun is giving life to the southern hemisphere. The sun is descending into the underworld and is on its way to conquer darkness. When the sun enters the sign of Scorpio, the life in the northern hemisphere is dying. The leaves are falling off the trees. We have our last harvest. Everything is getting colder and everything slows down. This is representing the death of the sun. The sign of Scorpio is all about darkness, death, transformation, secrets, and embracing all of these things. Everything is changing. This is the time that the sun or consciousness embodies these qualities. As above, so below. Life on Earth or life in the body will respond to this. This is the time of year that more people become depressed. People start to go outside less. And we start to go through our holiday season as we get ready for the new year. If you want to get more esoteric about this, let's think about the times in your life where you have been very, very successful in something, and then your energy and momentum begins to wane. You cross the threshold into the southern hemisphere, and then this thing that you are working on begins to wither away, and the door was closed on it. This is your Scorpio season of your consciousness. And as the door is closing, simultaneously another door is opened for you. And this also is happening during the Scorpio season. This is the thinning of that veil. This is the crossing over of consciousness. One door closes and another door opens. It is the death and rebirth. It is the transformation. The sign of Scorpio is not just represented by a scorpion. It is also represented by an eagle, a snake, or a phoenix. This all begins to make sense just as the snake sheds its old skin so that it can embody its freshly grown new skin. The phoenix dies and rises from the ashes and is reborn. This season is all about embracing the darkness and letting it consume you, letting it burn away the old and transform you. Now, another occult symbolism of Hallowmass is that it happens on November 1st. It happens on 11/1. Numbers are very powerful to the occult. The numbers we have here is 111 or 111. And added together, you get the number 3, which is all about transformation, manifestation, harmony, and ascension. And also the numbers 111 can resemble the coming together of worlds. Actually, this reminds me of the Kabbalistic tree of life. We have a feminine pillar, a masculine pillar, and a middle pillar. And this gives the shape of 111. The feminine pillar can represent the internal world, the subconscious, what is hidden below. It can be darkness. This does not mean evil. The masculine pillar can represent the external world, the conscious, what is being presented in light and out in the open. Then the middle pillar can be the mediator, the middle path, the path to truth and to light. It can be the birth of the other two pillars. This is representing how we can contain darkness and light and how they both must be used and understood in order to bring about something new. The middle pillar is representing standing in between two worlds. And this is what this occult holiday is all about. Let's talk about how we can use this time of year. Being that we are the microcosm of this, in that it has such a large effect on us and our consciousness. This is a time where the summer has officially ended, and the summer needs to end. The sun needs to sleep. It needs to rest. We play this role every single day as our sun, our consciousness, needs to rest after the sun goes down. We put away everything that we've done for the day, and we descend into a slumber and awaken the next day. This is a period of recharging and rest. As I was saying earlier, this is the time of year that many people get depressed. This is because the sun's light is waning, and we have much more night than we have daylight. This is completely normal, and this can be embraced. Use this time to relax and stay in if needed. Embrace the darkness and embrace the change. This is a great time to do shadow work. As you embrace the darkness, let go of the difficult things that you've experienced this year that did not serve you. Then replenish what you've let go of and create more inner light for yourself. Make plans for what you'll do in the spring. This is a great time to go inward and focus on the inner world, doing things like contemplation, planning, changing, learning new things, and gaining understandings. Here's a quick grounding exercise to use at this time of the year. Imagine that you have this ball of energy in your heart. As you inhale, let this light grow brighter and brighter as it becomes the color green. Keep inhaling and let it grow as large and as bright as you can make it glow. I want you to imagine that there's a cord going from this light to the center of the earth. Imagine that the center of the earth also has a large green light energy ball, and it is connected to yours through this cord. I want you to imagine that all of this darkness, all of this pain, all of the difficult things that you've experienced throughout this year is being funneled down through this cord to the center of the earth, where the earth can then transform it. Everything that dies ends up in the earth, and the earth transforms it. And this is the embodiment of Scorpio energy. After you have given this darkness to the earth, imagine bright white light at the top of the universe, and it is feeding you fresh and positive new energy. Let this fill your light body up and gently circulate this light. This is such a great time of year to ground yourself and embrace the changes that are occurring both in the outside world and within your inner world. You are standing between both worlds at this time, so use it to your advantage. If you are interested in working with me, I do offer one-on-one coaching for beginning ceremonial magic. My program is about balancing and working with the 4 elements, and I think this is going to be very beneficial for you. Just send me an email about my 4 Corners program. My email is in the description of this video. And if you'd like a tarot reading done by me, you can also send me an email. Just let me know if you have a question and that you want a reading. You pay through Venmo, and I will make a video reading just for you. And I hope there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.